Good evening, friends. You know, 2 years ago, thanks to the hard work and financial support of Republicans like all of us here and across this country, we took control of Congress. And in 3 months, thanks to the financial support, the hard work of Republicans here and across this country, we're going to take control of the Senate and the presidency. And we're going to do it because we have good candidates. And one of those candidates is with us tonight. Here she is. And you know what? I'm going to cut my time. I want to give more to her, but I will remind you one thing. Elizabeth is from Danville, married mom, 3 beautiful children, a hardworking, experienced, articulate supporter and leader in the fight for autism, worked for IBM, and she went to the UCLA and graduated with a degree in economics and political science. You know who else did? Paul Ryan at the University of Ohio, Miami. We got a lot in common. Intelligent, articulate, attractive, dynamic, and winners. So what I want to say with all those nice things I said is, you did that. Come on up here and tell us.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I am Elizabeth Emken. I'm the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate, and I intend to unseat Dianne Feinstein. And you know, you all saw the primary ballot, 24 names. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? It was a little bit like the Hunger Games. 24 went in, but only 2 came out. And in all honesty, most of us didn't. We had little more than a backpack, a water bottle, and a couple of beads. That's about all we had, fighting it out. But there is only 2 of us now. There will only be 2 names on that ballot. There's no distractions. And Dianne Feinstein has a lot of explaining to do. She has been in office since 1492 and has presided over the decline of our state for 20 years. She has been in the U.S. Senate. Right now, California is at the bottom of every relevant economic measure. You name it. Whether it's the housing bust or whether it's unemployment. We now have the dubious distinction of being rated the 50th worst state in the country to do business in. Isn't that lovely? And Dianne Feinstein has been there the past 6 years, driven up our debt by $6.5 trillion. It's unbelievable. 3.5 years, no budget. What CEO in this country would still have their job if they had not produced a budget in 3.5 years? None of them. I've been very blessed to have had 2 careers. My first one was at IBM US. I did cost and financial management work for them, basically cost-benefit analysis. My second career was a draft when my son was diagnosed with autism 16 years ago. I founded and ran the government relations department at Autism Speaks, which is one of our nation's largest nonprofits. I spent 15 years as a student of the legislative process. And I will tell you that, to no surprise to anyone in this room, but our federal government is broken. It lacks accountability mechanisms, it lacks discipline, it lacks control and oversight. And I will look at members on both sides of the aisle. Congress should be doing more to manage the federal agencies. They can do more. I know how to do it. I did it along a bill with Senator Rick Santorum called the Combating Autism Act. We know how to make agencies more accountable. You know how I know this? People are copying what we did. I'm going to go back there and I want to do it on behalf of all agencies. It was, in fact, Obamacare, though, that caused me to have that citizen moment when I said, I am running for office. I have a severely disabled child. And I saw our health care, health insurance, and health delivery systems being, which, by the way, a bad problem. They were in need of reform. And I saw an all-Democratic Congress actually take this bad problem and make it worse, which, folks, is saying something. I mean, honestly, to really take us even further backward was unbelievable. I threw my hat in the ring because I have 3 kids. 3 kids in school. And by the way, if you're running for public office, you should have kids in school. Let me tell you. My husband and I work for a living. His company just had layoffs not too long ago. I saw as I looked over his shoulder to see which of his friends were no longer employed. And we have a mortgage. I know what families are going through here in California. Dianne Feinstein doesn't have a clue. She is occupying a ceremonial seat in the Senate dining room that she believes she's entitled to. She doesn't believe she should have to debate it. Matter of fact, her consultant not so long ago said, Elizabeth Emken, we don't recognize her. She's a rhetorical joke, were his words. Seriously. Even the LA Times said no. The LA Times said, Senator, nothing screams entrenched incumbent more than a long-term senator who won't debate their rival. Good for the LA Times. The people of California deserve an explanation from Dianne Feinstein over the last 20 years of her supervision. And you know what? We're going to get that. You know how I know? So after this primary, there was a poll, the first poll, just a couple of weeks ago. Dianne Feinstein polling at 45%. Now, you've all read about that in the paper? Oh, no, whoops, no, I know, I haven't read about it in the paper either. I'm polling at 33%, 12 points apart, but that's not the most interesting part. The most interesting part is that 20% of Californians are undecided. Okay, by show of hands, who's undecided if you will still be married to your spouse? No, that's a different question. Who is undecided if you're going to be married to your spouse on November the 6th? You're not undecided. Well, most of you aren't. Careful now. Careful. You're not undecided. You are very familiar with your spouse. We are all way too familiar with Dianne Feinstein, and so is all of California. People are looking for an alternative. I intend to be that alternative, but I need your help. We're so used to statewide having millionaires and billionaires and CEOs and movie stars running for statewide office here in California on the Republican ticket. I'm none of those. Remember, I'm a mom who went to Washington on behalf of her child. But I understand what families are going through. That's what the people of California want. $183 million was spent statewide in 2010, and we didn't get there. I don't need to have the most money, but I need to have enough money to get my message out. We already know. If we can get the message out, we know that Californians are looking for an alternative to Dianne Feinstein. I need your help. There is no they helping out this U.S. Senate race. It's we. It's all of us. It's we. I need your help. I hope you'll come see Nina and me. I'll be here. We've got envelopes. Any amount helps. This is a grassroots insurgency, as the pastor said. Underfunded, but we got the white hats on. With your help, Dianne Feinstein, I just want to help her ease into retirement. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.